Welcome to Meet the Creators, a podcast dedicated to the art of business and the business of art. Meet the creative minds behind marketing campaigns, commercials, business, and art. Tune in to better understand the value of creative minds in marketing and business as we build the bridge between business and creative artists.
So super excited to be here with you, Darko. Thank you so much for being on Meet the Creators.
It's great having you today, Jordan. Thanks for putting bees on the agenda of this amazing project.
Of course. Could you give us a little bit of background about yourself, a little bit of intro for our audience?
Absolutely. My name is Darko Mandich, and I'm a co-founder and CEO of MeliBio. We are the world's first company using science to make real honey without bees. We're based in San Francisco Bay Area, specifically in Oakland. And the MeliBio team is very excited to deliver the future of honey that's sustainable, delicious, nutritious, and animal-free.
Let's go to the bees. How are we going to have honey without bees?
So if you would ask people on the streets if they heard, is there anything going on with the bees? I think most of the people would exactly guess that something, what's happening with the bees is actually not great for the bees and for the planet. So I think there's this general awareness that bees are being jeopardized. But what many people don't know is the specifics of the story around bees. And let me walk you into that. Essentially, humans figured out how we can domesticate bees. And when I say bees, there's only one bee species called Apis mellifera, or European honeybee, that's being domesticated. And people put honeybees in beehives and use them for honey production and pollination. So what's happening with the bees is that there's this rapid decline of bee biodiversity that, amongst other reasons, is actually generated by the overpopulation of these domesticated European honeybees that humans artificially bred to meet the demand for honey production. So it's like an unfortunate turf war, and it's honeybees being sponsored by humans by being artificially created in a way that, when introduced into ecosystems that they've never been before, they leave no space for bumblebees, green metallic bees, blue orchard mason bees to survive. So MeliBio and our company, by making honey without bees, we directly help that pressure is being removed. And by removing the pressure of honeybees on wild and native bee species, we directly help restoring that bee biodiversity. And what does that mean for us in this planet? More different bee species, the more developed bee biodiversity, there's more opportunity for wild and native bees to pollinate wild and native plants. And wild and native plants are necessary for this planet to fight the battle with CO2 emissions.
Wow. You just covered like 3 of my questions. So MeliBio takes pretty much the plant process of how bees would generate honey. So it's not essentially, is it a synthetic honey or is it real honey?
So I love talking about how we make our honey, because transparency in the food system is very necessary, especially knowing that we are really updating the food system of today to create it to become better for tomorrow, to serve us all, to be safe, to be delicious, nutritious, and to be scalable. So with that in mind, around our process, I can share that first and foremost, we start with the same plants that bees visit. And we are working with those plants in a way to turn them into a product that has the molecular composition that's identical to the real honey that's made by the bees, just made without bees. So it's essentially learning how bees interact with plants, observing that creating a proprietary process that can help us access plants and get those nutritious stuff from plants that bees usually get, and taking that back, plugging in science and technology in a way that we essentially just take the animal off the equation of honey production. The same product tastes the same, behaves the same in applications. It's just giving bees a break.
That's amazing. Yeah, the bees are tired. They've been working hard for us.
Bees are tired. Many people ask me, like, oh, if we take this privilege from bees to serve us and make honey, what are they going to do? And I happily respond to all these people that bees have their purpose, which is not to be in tiny boxes, which is not to be used as livestock for us and left without food if we scrape the last spoon of honey and feed them with sugar water over winter and have them work against each other by overpopulating the invasive bees and making other bees disappear. I think we really need to update our mindset and do like a mind shift. And I know it's hard. And the reason I really know this is hard is because I come from the honey industry. So my background is in traditional honey industry. I spent almost 10 years working with more than 12,000 beekeepers in Europe and moving a lot of honey across the world. And when I figured out myself, where does this take us? I had an epiphany moment. I realized that we can't do this moving forward, that we need to figure out ways how we deliver the same product just without the consequences. And if I can speak up about this as someone who has actively contributed for this situation to be created, I believe that this voice can empower all the people out there in the food system, all the people that interact with animals in food system, and just to think a little bit about this. And because there's way to have these amazing products just without treating animals and commodifying them to serve our needs.
I love that. And I was going to ask you, how did you know so much about bees? But you answered my question yet again. You kind of touched on this, but what is your big vision for MeliBio and the honey industry?
The big vision is the bright future. And to deliver that bright future, we need to start working today. So we see this planet green with many flowers that we have now, or even more. And we see this planet to be a home of 10 billion people in 2050. And we see food companies like MeliBio having a chance to create that bright future by doing something that's essentially really hard. If you look into the innovation in fields of transportation, in fields of communication and technology, you could have witnessed certain challenges and hard times to deliver these solutions. And then finally, when we're updating the food system, we are faced with something so intimate as having 3 meals a day and figuring out that we need to do that differently. So it's hard, and I understand people out there, and companies like MeliBio are and should be facilitating a dialogue. So we believe that we can change the system, we can work on it, we can make it transparent, safe, and we can provide everyone with an opportunity to transition. Because if we think about all the beekeepers out there that are keeping bees, I see that we also can have a solution for them. We can be prioritizing farming plants and helping so many other things to help these animals stay alive and not to use them to serve the short-term purpose that in the end leaves us without a home. We only have one home, that's planet Earth, and we better be mindful about it, because otherwise we're gonna be having difficulties to find another home as great as this one. So, MeliBio, we believe that, food is an intimate thing. People remember, those moments of their first taste of their favorite food. And we believe that by advancing the science, by investing capital in this, that we can really, really reimagine the food system to serve everyone. We can really create a win-win-win situation for the planet, for the bees, and of course for us humans.
I love it. I feel like there's this whole movement towards a more sustainable future in terms of food. You see it with the plant-based burgers and, the switch from all of the livestock. And so MeliBio, I think, is right there with that whole movement towards a brighter future, like you're saying. So super cool.
Yeah, I mean, like seeing how things started from the center of the plate, like burgers, and moving that, to reimagining dairy, reimagining eggs. And, finally, MeliBio is there to reimagine one of the last animal products and make it animal free. So we're super excited about that. Honey is a hard product. There's so many valuable aspects of honey. There's so many, there's so many powerful super ingredients that make honey more than a sweetener. So we're aware of that. We're not compromising on either the taste, neither the nutrition. I'm very excited for that future honey industry that MeliBio is creating.
Amazing. I feel like you covered most of my questions. I have 2 left. You're a new company in just a very competitive world. What are some of the challenges that you as a young company are facing?
I would say that we are in the phase of creation. Early stages of companies are very exciting because you're creating what you think is necessary for the world. We're the world's first company to do this, but seeing other companies coming out in different geographies is actually really exciting for me. So our why is deeply rooted in accomplishing this mission and vision, and other companies doing the same thing. I think it's great for the planet. It's great for the bees. It's great for the human species.
You guys are like the Tesla of honey.
It's it's interesting way to put it. I think there's definitely an expectation from companies like MeliBio to deliver that excitement. If that excitement could be wrapped up in many tiny excitements, like Tesla possibly delivered in the car industry, I think it's a cool way to think about it. So thank you, Jordan, for that.
Amazing. And you touched on, but anything you're most excited about? Anything else you want to share about your vision, about MeliBio?
Yeah, I'm really excited about building the team right now and expanding the team and getting the product into the market. So we've worked so hard in our R&D process, and we're still working this process. So seeing the team growing up, getting to the next stages of fundraising and developing and getting product into the market is something that, it's a dream come true. So living that dream and seeing how our team is growing right now is really, really exciting.
What is the importance of storytelling in this whole journey for you?
Look, Jordan, as all of us know, storytelling is very important for startups. I think for us, being connected with our why, understanding why we're doing, and showing that story to the world, being open, being vulnerable about it, showing that we know what's going on here. For me, it was a no-brainer from the get-go to share my learnings from the industry, not hiding that, bringing that up and talking about bees, helping people familiarize with bees, because when you think about other animals, people can go to an animal sanctuary, hug a donkey, hug a cow, spend some time with some cool chickens, but with bees, there's this I would say deep respect for bees, but also a little bit of a disconnect. So for us, telling the story around bees, their importance, showing different bees, telling this story to everyone using different angles. And I think that was really, really helpful for us to get a lot of following from the get-go in the investor community, in the, partner in the customer community too. Story is everything nowadays. Story means emotions, and essentially you want to create an emotional reaction. And I don't see a better example of creating an emotional reaction than with our own survival on this planet, and who should we thank for that survival, which obviously are bees.
Any advice for young entrepreneurs or creatives?
First of all, I would like to thank to all of these entrepreneurs and creators in the space. You guys out there doing amazing things to change old, outdated industries, make them sustainable. Thank you for doing that, first and foremost. Second, I would say that it's very, very important that you connect with your why, to understand your why, because I can see the difference between companies started by founders who have deep connection with certain problems, certain frustration, certain industry, versus just people who think that would be cool to be solved or important to be solved. So I believe that, when I was thinking about, certain things and certain career moves, I was never able to connect with other products that are not honey, because I don't know them as great as honey, and I don't have, my journey of that. So to all of you out there, connect with your journeys, connect with your true whys, because that's going to be important when times are rough. You're going to be challenged on your journeys, and only if you're working on your true journey, true mission, that's going to help you, survive all the high highs and low lows. But I trust in all of you. So thank you all for doing and building out there, building the future of the world that's better for everyone.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. Best of luck. And is there, where can people find you? What are your social media handles and all of that good stuff?
People can find all the information about us visiting our website, melibio.com, and visiting our social media channels on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and to stay informed about where our products will be available and how they can interact with our company.
Well, thank you for your time. It was so great chatting with you, and we are signing off.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Meet the Creators. I hope you found value in today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, and please share with a friend.